I love our home, but it's not quite as finished as I would like it to be. So I'm determined to make it a little bit more cozy, one corner at a time. This time I'm trying to tackle a bit of a bigger project. These stairs have been left untouched since we moved in about 8 years ago, and I would love for them to look a bit more elegant and a lot more finished. This is the inspiration picture I keep coming back to. I love how classic it looks, the brown wood balustrade against the creamy paintwork. I would also love to add some kind of panelling to the front of our stair doors, just something that adds a bit more dimension. First things first, I'm going to sand down this balustrade. I did sugar soap it first, but I think I underestimated just how grimy it must have been, because I was just going through sanding pads so fast. Thank goodness for audiobooks, because I was so over sanding. I think having a chance to listen to my book was the only thing keeping me going at some points. That took a lot longer than I anticipated, but finally the balustrade is wonderfully smooth and we're ready to move on to staining. I'm going to use this Briwax in Walnut as I already have a tin on the go, and it's super easy to use. You just rub it in with a cloth and then you buff it to a shine. I definitely started off with all good intentions, trying not to get too much wax onto the spindles, but that plan was soon abandoned. I'm going to give the wax a second coat. Some parts have seemed to soak up the wax a bit more than others, so hopefully this will even it out. I've decided I'm going to add some panelling to these doors in the shape of a simple frame around the edges, a bit like a shaker style. So I'm just going to measure all the way around each door, so I know exactly how much MDF I need. And then I'm just going to order it online, I think. And that way it can come pre-cut into 6cm wide strips. That way I only have to cut it to the right length for myself. Now I feel like I have looked at every paint colour known to man at this point, trying to find the right not too grey, not too yellow, not too green shade of paint. I thought I'd found the one in Farrow & Ball's Cornforth White, but I'm not too sure now. I always think colours don't pick up very well. This looks quite a mess at the minute. But it's too grey. I don't want it to look grey. And in some lights it actually looks quite nice. Quite a nice contrast with the brown banister. But it's not what I'm after. So that's that. So then I looked up Drop Cloth by Farrow & Ball. And this is the kind of colour I thought I wanted. It's like a beigey grey, but with a green undertone. But again, I just don't think this looks right now. Now I have it in person, I think it looks a bit too green. So I consulted the colour charts. And I think really I was getting into my head that I wanted a nice contrast so that the stair banisters and the stair under the stair cupboards all stood out, and it was like a nice statement for the room. I'm never going to be the kind of girl that's like, I like a dark green, which I think would look lovely, but I would just get fed up with it after a few months. So I always knew it was going to be some kind of neutral colour. And I was thinking, well, this kind of, the drop cloth, the old white, these kind of darker greyish colours. But I think now I actually just want something that's more classic and that I know I'm still going to love and enjoy in a year's time, 2 years' time, 3 years' time. So I think that's probably the route I'm going to take. But also, with this sample I did of the Pharaoh and Ball, I'm not that impressed with the paint, to be honest. This colour here, this is a matte emulsion, so it's not quite the same finish. But this is Egyptian Cotton by Dulux. So I think I'm going to go with that. In fact, I know I'm going to go with that because I'm about to order the paint. So this is the colour. It doesn't look like anything special here, but I think overall it will look nice. Ugh. And I keep seeing things that I've missed. I've missed staining underneath here. Oh no, have I missed staining? Or is that the paint sample? I don't know, but it's not right anyway. Definitely need a tiny brush for all these little fiddly bits. So I'm like, no. I also should probably fill a few cracks, but don't know if I'm that bothered, to be honest. I don't mind there being little gaps and cracks. Maybe not everywhere. So much easier with a smaller brush. Like there's a little notch out of the edge of the spindle, and I could fill that in. But I don't think I'm going to. I think it's very easy when you're up close to a project to see all your imperfections and notice every mistake. But things, they often don't look quite as wobbly as you imagine when you take a step back. I'm still waiting for the wood to arrive for the panelling, so in the meantime I thought I would put a first coat of the Egyptian cotton onto the spindles. I know it doesn't look very different on camera, but in person it really is a lovely warm neutral shade. I think it looks quite a lot like my original inspiration picture. The MDF for the doors has finally arrived. I think the company I used was called Cut My MDF. It all arrived really safely packaged anyway. So now I'm just trying to figure out where is best to start. I'm just going to measure and cut each door one at a time, I think. This would obviously be a lot quicker and easier with a table or mitre saw, but we're going to use what we have. And now this is where I realised my first problem. Because the door opens here, when you open the door, the side of the door actually goes inside. So if I put the wood right up to the edge, it's not going to open the door enough. So I think I have to bring it in by, I don't know, maybe about an inch. Doesn't look crazy odd from here. Well, there isn't really an alternative, so I think we're going to have to do that. But that means now all my cuts are going to be wrong. Well, it would just be this one, won't it? And this one, just two straight cuts. I need to make that a little bit shorter. And this bottom piece shorter. So at least it's not the angles that are going to be wrong. Okay. What I'm just going to do is I'm going to open the door and measure how far it goes inside. I'm using some grab adhesive to stick the strips onto the doors, and I'm just going to check each time that it's straight so we don't run into hopefully any more problems. I've just got this last section to go, but I think I'm going to leave that bit for tomorrow. Now this is where I realised my second problem. I forgot to take into account that the panel piece that I put here, when it opens, this part of the door on the old hinges used to go inside the door, and the new depth of it just wasn't going to allow for the door to actually open, which meant I was going to have to leave a gap between the next piece of paneling, and it was going to have to be like a gap of this. So it kind of would have looked like that with a gap that big. So instead of doing that, I've decided to add different hinges. These hinges attach differently, so they just open the door differently. So I put the hinges on this side, and now I need to put the hinges on that side. But because this is adding a gap here where the hinges are connected, that means that this now isn't going to be the right size. So I'm going to have to add the hinges on that side, but I'm going to have to plane it a bit on that side, I think. Otherwise it's not going to shut in the middle. And I probably didn't need to cut that off either, but okay. So I'm going to change these hinges over. I could have fitted them onto the doors first, but I wanted to know how much narrower the doors needed to be. So I thought this way around would be a bit easier for me. I definitely should have got out the circular saw for this, but instead I just gave up halfway and I asked Liam to help me out. They don't close together. I'm going to try and I think just sand them down think it's mainly here in the middle that's a problem, because there's quite a big gap at the bottom. So that's my challenge for today. And finally, after an awful lot more sanding, the doors, they actually close properly. So now I'm going to add these last bits of paneling strips. And because I didn't realise this right side panel, it actually sits a bit further back than the door on the left. This strip didn't fit behind the hinge, so I'm going to have to shorten the 2 pieces of paneling next to it instead. And Liam helped me out with this bit as well, because the multi-tool blade, it kind of freaks me out a little bit. And at last, the panelling is finished. And the doors, they actually close. I didn't need to leave this gap after all, now that the hinges have been swapped. But I didn't have enough MDF spare to replace this section, so hopefully when it's painted all in the same colour, that won't be too noticeable. Okay, so my mum's taking the kids out because it's half term at the minute. It's taking the kids out to the park, so I'm going to try and crack on with a bit more. So I think I'm going to sand this down, I'm hoping it doesn't need filling again, but we'll see. And then I really should prime it. I should prime it. I just want it finished. It certainly did need more filler, so while that dries, I'm going to give the spindles a second coat of the satin wood. And then finally, with Bluey on in the background, I can get a first coat of the Egyptian cotton onto the doors. I think this probably shows the contrast between the colour and the white a lot more clearly. I'm loving how it looks so far. I'm going to add this catch to the doors, and then it's finally time for some finishing touches. I found this carpet beater in a charity shop, and I just think old everyday objects like this, they're so unintentionally beautiful. And I think it can hang right here above the coats. So I've been waiting to put these pictures up for a while now, and I think I made these a few months ago, and they were just flowers from my garden as I press. I got these frames from the charity shop for about £1. I think they were £1 each. And I just loved the mount. They came with the mount inside, and I loved the green colour. I thought they looked really cute together. So I've been waiting and waiting to hang these, but I thought I'm going to wait till everything's finished, and then I'm going to hang them. So I really hope these look how I'm imagining them to, and they're the right proportions. I don't have anything else to hang up here for now. I think these are going to look good though. But I just need to, I've stapled one back on already because I had to prise the glue off to get flowers inside. So I'm just going to staple the other one on. Should they be stacked or staggered? Or should it be staggered that way? This is why I need someone to hold it for me. Okay, I'll hold them in different positions, and then I'll have to look at the footage off the camera back so I can see what I prefer. So this here, or like this. Okay. This was the original picture I took inspiration from for the coat rack and for the frames. It's like that in that picture. Like that. That doesn't look right. It's definitely got to be either like that or straight. And finally, it's all come together. It certainly was a lot more work than I thought it would be, and there are a few mistakes and wobbly bits. But it's okay to not know what you're doing, to figure it out as you go. Because sometimes that's the only way to get anywhere, by just having a go and trusting at some point you'll find your way.